And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Welcome to Alaska Weather. I'm meteorologist Peter Chan, coming to you from the National Weather Service in Alaska region on this Wednesday, August 14th, 2024. And if you'd like additional weather information provided by the Weather Service, you can go to weather.gov. That is our online presence. It'll bring you to a map of the continental U.S. with Hawaii and Alaska to the lower left and tabs for the territories. If you point and click anywhere on this map, it'll give you a very specific and detailed forecast for any place in the nation, including any relevant watches, warnings, or advisories. And a quick check of the map. On this Wednesday afternoon, we have heat advisories, southern Florida, and up through a good portion of the middle south, including parts of the Mississippi River Valley on into the southern and central plains. There have been some thunderstorms put down some heavier rainfall around Bismarck, North Dakota, where flood watch is still in effect. And then we have red flag warnings for the threat of thunderstorms that could cause fires due to lightning strikes and what we call drier type thunderstorms where have produced little if any rain. So looking for here in Alaska, parts of the state are enjoying some fine weather on this Wednesday afternoon. Dry and warm ridge of high pressure is currently impacting south central eastern mainland into the panhandle. That feature is going to slide eastward gradually the next couple of days, so that the eastern mainland will have another warm day in dry conditions for Thursday. And panhandle as well, with some of the better weather continuing Friday into Saturday across the panhandle. Meanwhile, to the west, it begins a progressive stormy pattern as Bering Sea and North Pacific lows are going to be moving into the west coast. We have two west coast storms, one Thursday and Friday and another Saturday, Sunday, and potentially a third one that could impact the same areas of the west coast by the middle of next week. So this is going to be a rather active and progressive weather pattern. They will bring at times strong winds, at least gale force winds, maybe some storm force gusts, high surf that could cause some minor coastal flooding, and then moderate to heavy rainfall. Some of the rainfall, Seward Peninsula, southwest slopes there, the Brooks Range could see as much as 3 to 5 inches of rain from these two systems from Thursday through Sunday. That could result in some minor flooding of rivers and creeks there along western areas of the state. So Nome, mostly cloudy, 47 this afternoon, and that system, the first low is going to be passing near or just west of Nome by early Friday morning, so it's going to get breezy and wet there as we go through Thursday. Along Kuskokwim Bay, you're going to have some gale force winds coming into there tonight into the day Thursday. Quillingok there, overcast skies, 48 degrees with some moderate rain on the way. Summit there in the north central Alaska range, partly cloudy, 55. Winds are going to be increasing through the Alaska range. Southeast to south winds could gust as high as 65 miles an hour here Thursday and early Friday. That's all part of that system, the winds out ahead of it. So as a result, wind advisories are in effect for the Alaska range and areas of the western interior. Juneau, mostly cloudy, 63 degrees. You're going to see more in the way of sunshine and temperatures getting back up around 70 here, especially Friday and Saturday. That'll help dry things out after just that catastrophic Mendenhall Glacier Dam release flood that happened here a couple of weeks ago. So good news there. You're going to have some more opportunity to just enjoy some warmer and drier weather. But the action is going to be central and western areas of the state. We have wind advisories for the Alaska range and up into the western interior. And then high surf advisories, eastern Norton Sound from around Golovin through Shaktoolik, Unalakleet to St. Michael, Stebbins, Emonic. These areas could see higher than normal surf as the result of strong south-southwest winds that could be at times gale force. And then we have heavier rain. Also going to see some gale force winds here up into Kuskokwim and Bristol Bays, and then moderate to heavy rain moving across the area. The area that could see the heaviest rainfall will be here, especially the Seward Peninsula and up here along areas of the southwest slopes there of the Brooks Range, but also areas here of the interior. We're looking at 1 to 2 inches of rain with this first system Thursday, Friday, another 1 to 2 inches of rain coming in over the weekend for Saturday and Sunday, all along some of the same areas. And then some of the heaviest rains, upwards of 5 inches, could fall here away from the coast there of the Seward Peninsula with those strong south to southwest winds. You get additional lift when you have any terrain, those winds to blow up there like that, and that helps enhance the precipitation. So another interesting fact, today we had a X-class solar flare, 1.1, that's on the lower end of the X flares, but it's Earth directed. It's scheduled to arrive sometime Friday night. The moon phase, waxing gibbous moon, a couple days away from full moon, which is August 19th. And so Alaska's early aurora viewing season has begun earlier this week, Monday morning. The aurora was visible where there were some breaks in the cloud cover late Sunday night, early Monday morning, even from the Anchorage area. And this potentially could be a more notable disturbance. The only thing working against it is we're near full moon and we have these weather systems that are going to cloud out many locations. Not only that, but provide plenty of rain. And looking at fire danger, most of the state, non-existent or very low, but areas of the upper Tanana Valley are back up around very high fire danger with the drier conditions, and you're going to see those winds picking up Thursday afternoon and into Friday. So fire danger here will be higher, and if any fire were to get away, it could certainly spread given the breezy conditions that are anticipated. Looking at the satellite imagery, you can see the clearing up here and through south central, eastern mainland. This is all thanks to high pressure ridge that extends from the Gulf up into the mainland. This feature is going to just move eastward and then be lying right across the panhandle here Friday into Saturday. So that means the panhandle, you're going to enjoy some very fine weather here to close out the week and start the weekend. Meanwhile, here comes the next storm. It's crossing up through the Aleutians. This low will take a track to near or just west of Nome by early Friday morning. So with the system taking a track like that, it's going to have plenty of moisture. The fronts are going to come right up in here to the southwest coast with gale force winds, and even a few of the windier points could have some storm force gusts, so that's going to cause higher surf than normal. And then we're going to have moderate to heavy rain. 1-2 inch rain amounts could fall with this system, and then another 1 to 2 inches of rain will come with the weekend. The next system, the weekend storm, will take a very similar track. So this is going to become an active weather pattern, and some of that moisture will also be riding up into the western Gulf as we go into later Thursday and on Friday. So here's the way the map looks after putting in motion. And here we have the low out here toward the central Aleutians that will be tracking northeastward tonight. So looking at the weather map, center of the low is around 987 millibars. Taking a track northeastward, there is a dome or push of warmer, milder, moist air with it out through the eastern Aleutians. This front up here along the Bering Strait is stationary. It's really not going to advance eastward. And then we have the high pressure ridge, which is kind of helping to force this system northeastward and impact mainly the west side of the state. So late tonight, early on Thursday morning, the low is out in the central Bering, west of St. Paul, southwest of St. Matthew. Central pressure down around 985 millibars. Stationary front to the north and west just kind of breaks up and washes out. Weak boundary. And then here's the high pressure ridge nudging northeastward, especially up through the Gulf along the Alcan border. And as we get into Thursday, here we have the low situated just east of St. Matthew, taking a track to probably just west of Nome by early Friday morning. Surge of warmer, wet air coming up here across the western Gulf as we get into Thursday afternoon and night. Meanwhile, also strong south-southwest winds along areas of the southwest coast that'll be gale force. And the ridge shifting just slightly eastward so that by Friday we find that ridge mainly over the panhandle. So that's going to set up areas like Ketchikan and even to the north, Juneau. Could see temperatures at 70 or better. And so the initial low lifts north up toward Utqiagvik by Friday afternoon, and the front continues its way through the interior, though weakening, but it'll have gusty winds associated with it Thursday into Friday. So keep that in mind along the Alaska Range, Fairbanks, along the Brooks Range. You could see gusty winds here, especially starting Thursday afternoon into the day Friday. And then here comes the second storm. This will be crossing the Bering, taking a very similar track here over the weekend for Saturday and Sunday, bringing another round of wind and moderate to heavy rain, with some of the heaviest rain falling here along areas of the Seward Peninsula and along the southwest slopes there of the Brooks Range. So here are the temperatures tonight. I could see some readings in the 40s out across the Panhandle to near 50 degrees. 42 up at Glen Allen there in the Copper River Basin, 50-ish in the Anchorage Bowl. But again, some of the normally cooler spots, as long as we keep skies clear to partly cloudy, dip down in the 40s. And then on Thursday, clouds will be on the increase from the south and west. Temperatures should still get back up in the 60s, flirting with 70 there around Gulkana and Glen Allen. And then back here through the Panhandle, could be an isolated 70-degree reading in the southern Panhandle, 71 at Skagway for a warm day thanks to that high-pressure ridge building in. And then temperatures with the cloud cover, breezier conditions. We expect Friday morning lows to generally be at 50 over south central. Some 40s, upper 40s to low 50s across the Panhandle. And then temperatures Friday afternoon, you're going to see some lower 70s in areas of the Panhandle, 60s and lower 70s. Glen Allen could still possibly squeak out near 70, but we're going to have some rain coming in from the south and west up Cook Inlet there during the day Friday before exiting in the afternoon and evening. Across the central and northern interior, interesting note this morning, Tok had a low temperature of 28. One of our cooperative observers there, Katie, she had a temperature of 26 degrees. Said it was a hard freeze that took care of most of the garden. So in these areas, the normally cold spots you may find here in the east central interior, certainly you could be back down at or below freezing tonight, but the major towns and airport sites are expected to stay above freezing. And then temperatures Thursday afternoon, look at this, 70 Fairbanks, lower 70s, Northway, Eagle, Yukon Flats there. Back to the west, we have temperatures generally immediate coastline, upper 40s, near 50 degrees. We could have a 60-degree reading up here at Dead Horse, so it's still mild there in the eastern Arctic coast. And temperatures Friday morning with this front pushing further inland with those gusty winds. We do expect warmer temperatures. A number of spots will not get below 50 degrees Friday morning there through the middle Yukon Valley. And then for Friday afternoon, still could see some 70s along the Alcan border, 73 forecast high for Eagle and Northway, 68 up there at Dead Horse and 67 at Kaktovik until that front pushes on through. Otherwise, readings in the 50s with showers will be the case and breezy conditions across the central and western interior. For the southwest, we have the system coming in tonight with increasing winds and rain developing very late tonight, especially by the pre-dawn hours of Thursday morning along and inside of Kuskokwim and Bristol Bays. And then for Thursday afternoon, temperatures will be in the 50s, could get up in the lower 60s. There's a little dome of warmer air that gets up into the Alaska Peninsula, perhaps 63 there at King Salmon, 61 down there toward Dutch Harbor. And then for Friday morning, lows will generally be in the 40s along the lower Yukon and Kuskokwim deltas, and lows generally at or just above 50 across the Alaska Peninsula and eastern Aleutians. And then in the wake, Friday afternoon, cooler air doesn't really push south. We could see temperatures at least in the lower 60s across much of the Alaska Peninsula back toward Dutch Harbor, but generally 50s here, again, across the southwest interior. It's been the story of winter, spring, summer, now heading into fall. The below normal temperatures have really been tending to settle right over the southwest areas of the mainland. So the trend as we go from August 20th through the 24th, so we're past mid-month, we're entering toward the end of August, the greatest potential for above normal temperatures will continue to be the Panhandle, because there's obviously got to be some ridging here to get this kind of signature. So that'll mean warmer temperatures the southeast mainland and as well as especially the Panhandle. To the west, though, below normal temperatures are likely along the west coast, extending up toward the middle Yukon Valley. And precipitation, we expect drier than normal, or at least below normal precipitation. The greatest potential for that to happen would be over the Panhandle. Doesn't mean you might not see a few showers from time to time, but overall, it's not the kind of pattern that's going to get you a wet atmospheric river coming in off the North Pacific and Gulf. The area that's going to be under the gun is out here over the northwestern quadrant of the mainland. We're going to have moist flow coming in off the Bering Sea, so there's a likelihood that precipitation will continue to be above normal around Norton Sound into the western and central Brooks Range, and especially Seward Peninsula on up through Kotzebue to Utqiagvik then August 20th through the 24th.